Are you curious about when to push through challenges and when to quit strategically? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're on a journey to explore The Dip, a compelling piece by Seth Godin that aims to answer precisely that question. This book is a masterstroke in understanding the nuances of success, dealing with the difficulties we face, and making strategic decisions about our efforts. Godin introduces us to the concept of the dip, a point in our endeavors where things get tough, and the temptation to quit is at its peak. It's the moment when most people give up, but it's also the defining moment where success is often determined. So are you ready to understand when to buckle down and when to gracefully bow out? Join us as we dive into the key points of the dip and unravel the secrets of navigating the path to success strategically. Firstly, understanding the dip is crucial. Picture this. You've embarked on a new endeavor. It's exciting, it's thrilling, and then suddenly it's not. The initial enthusiasm wanes, the progress slows, and you find yourself in a slump. That, my friends, is the dip. It's that tough spot in your journey where things get challenging, where the going gets rough, and the end seems nowhere in sight. But here's the thing. The dip is not just a pit of despair, it's a testing ground. It's the place where your resolve is tried and your commitment is questioned. It's where the wheat is separated from the chaff, so to speak. Recognizing when you're in the dip is critical. It helps you gauge your situation accurately, make strategic decisions, and most importantly, it helps you understand whether you're facing a temporary setback or at a dead end. Remember, it's essential to differentiate between a temporary setback and a dead end. But what if it's not a temporary setback, you may wonder? Well, in The Dip, Seth Godin emphasizes that it's crucial to know when to quit. Yes, you heard that right. Quitting. But not just any type of quitting, strategic quitting. When you find yourself in a dead-end situation where the effort significantly outweighs the reward, it's time to consider letting go. This is not a defeat, but rather a tactical retreat. You see, quitting at the right time allows you to free up your resources, time, energy, and perhaps even money, that you can then invest in more promising endeavors. So rather than viewing quitting as an admission of failure, think of it as a strategic decision. A decision that allows you to stop sinking resources into a lost cause and instead channel them into something that has the potential to bring you success. Remember, quitting is not always a failure, it can be a strategic move. Persistence is vital, but stubbornness can be detrimental. This nugget of wisdom from Seth Godin's The Dip is our guidepost today. So what exactly is the difference between persistence and stubbornness? Persistence is that gritty determination that keeps you going when the going gets tough. It's the fuel that drives you to master a skill, overcome a challenge, or reach a milestone. Persistence is the key to growth and accomplishment. On the flip side, we have stubbornness. Stubbornness is persistence's misguided cousin. It's when you stick to a course of action or a decision, even when all signs point towards a dead end. It's when you continue to invest energy in a situation that offers no potential for growth or reward. The trick is learning to distinguish between the two, and that's where the dip comes in handy. It teaches us to be vigilant observers of our own behavior. Be persistent when it leads to growth, but avoid stubbornness that keeps you stuck. Ever felt stuck in a loop with no growth? That's a cul-de-sac. Let's delve into this concept a bit more. Picture a real cul-de-sac, a street that loops back on itself with no way out. Now imagine applying this imagery to your personal or professional life. You're putting in effort, but you're not progressing. You're running in circles, and it's not leading you anywhere. That's your cul-de-sac trap. It's a situation where no matter how much energy you invest, there's no potential for growth or reward. So how do you avoid falling into this trap? The key lies in recognizing it. If you've been giving your all to a project, a job, or a relationship, but it's not taking you anywhere, it's probably a cul-de-sac. So, what should you do? Don't get stuck. It's time to quit and redirect your efforts. If you're in a cul-de-sac, it's time to quit and redirect your efforts. Quitting doesn't always mean you've lost. This isn't a phrase you'd hear often, but it's a crucial part of Seth Godin's The Dip. It's all about strategic quitting, a concept that might seem counterintuitive, but when understood, can be a powerful tool for success. Imagine you're in a race, but you're running with a heavy backpack. It's slowing you down, making it harder for you to reach the finish line. That backpack represents unproductive endeavors, things that are holding you back rather than propelling you forward. By quitting these burdensome tasks, you're not giving up on the race. Instead, you're making a strategic decision to lighten your load, to streamline your efforts, to make your journey toward success more manageable and more efficient. It's not about accepting defeat, but recognizing that your resources, time, energy, passion, are better spent elsewhere. By quitting unproductive endeavors, you free up resources for more promising opportunities. This isn't just quitting, it's quitting to win. Being the best at one thing is more rewarding than being average at many. Let's talk about the power of focus and mastery. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush of wanting to do everything. But Seth Godin, in his insightful book, The Dip, teaches us otherwise. He emphasizes the importance of focusing on one thing and mastering it. It's about honing your skills, nurturing your passion, and becoming the best at what you do. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have diverse interests, but when it comes to your work, your calling, put all your energy into it. Don't spread yourself too thin. Remember, excellence isn't born out of mediocrity. It's born out of focus, dedication, and persistence. So whether you're a writer, an artist, a business owner, or a student, aim for mastery. The Dip encourages us to focus our efforts where we can excel. So, how can you apply the Dip in your life? Now let's get into the practical steps for implementing the lessons from the Dip into your life. Firstly, it's crucial to clearly identify your goals. What are you striving for? What do you want to achieve? Having a clear vision of your destination will help you navigate the dips you encounter along the way. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that step is identifying your goal. Secondly, learn to recognize when you're in a dip. This could be a tough phase in your career, a challenging period in your personal life, or even a rough patch in your journey towards a particular goal. Recognizing the dip is the first step towards conquering it. But be patient, as it might take some time to see the dip for what it really is. Thirdly, once you've identified the dip, assess whether it's a temporary setback or a dead end. Is it a challenge that will lead to growth and mastery, or is it a cul-de-sac that's going nowhere? This assessment is crucial, as it will help you decide whether to persevere or to quit. Remember, quitting isn't always a sign of failure. Sometimes it's a strategic move towards success. Next, remember the difference between persistence and stubbornness. Persistence is pushing through the dip when it's worth it. Stubbornness is refusing to quit when it's not. So, be persistent when the reward is worth the struggle, and be ready to quit when it's not. Finally, have the courage to make strategic decisions. If you decide to push through the dip, be prepared for the challenges ahead. If you decide to quit, do so with conviction, knowing it's a strategic move towards better opportunities. To sum it up, the road to success is often filled with dips, but with a clear understanding of the dip, you can navigate these challenges more effectively. Identify your goals, recognize the dips, and make strategic decisions. Remember, the key to success lies not in avoiding challenges, but in knowing how to handle them. To wrap up, The Dip by Seth Godin is a valuable guide for navigating life's challenges. We've discovered the importance of recognizing the dip, that critical juncture in our endeavors where things get tough, and the decision to push through or quit becomes paramount. We've learned that quitting isn't always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it's a strategic move that can set us up for greater success down the line. We've also unraveled the difference between persistence and stubbornness. Persistence, when applied correctly, can lead to mastery and growth. On the other hand, stubbornness can keep us stuck in a hopeless situation. And let's not forget the cul-de-sac trap, a situation with no potential for growth or reward, where it's wise to quit and redirect our efforts elsewhere. Knowing when to push through and when to strategically quit can make all the difference in your journey to success.